All right, so welcome to episode 10 of 7 Questions with Summit Quest. We're sitting here today with Miss Lauren Womack. I think I've known your family now for a couple of years, and both of our kids attend the same school, so I get to see you guys in car rider line
Yep.
quite a bit. So welcome, and thank you for coming and sharing some of your story with
Absolutely.
us today.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. So the first question we have is just kind of, will you share a little bit about who you are?
Sure. I'm Lauren Womack. I am a mom of one, Easton. He's 6, and wife to my husband, Rob. He owns a business in town. I am an accountant.
So you got one little guy that's 6 years old. So I know that he
is a lot of fun.
He keeps you guys busy.
He keeps us going for sure.
We were talking a little bit earlier just about all the dress up and how when school has different days, like theme days, your kid pretty much wins everything. He is awesome. He is cool. You can just tell the amount of personality that he has. So that is cool. I also kind of want to give a shout out. You mentioned your husband has a business here in town. What business is that?
Rob's Garage. He owns an auto repair shop. No paint and body or anything like that, but any sort of mechanical repairs.
Yeah, kind of want to give him a shout out with that because we've had a couple of our Summit Quest families have a car crisis to where they couldn't get to and from treatment, and his shop was able to get them back on the road really, really quick and safely, and definitely appreciate
Absolutely.
that. The second question would be, will you share a little bit about your cancer journey and the treatment plan that you're facing?
Sure. My journey actually started in July of 2015. I was diagnosed with colon cancer. From there, I was diagnosed in the ER. So it was sort of an emergency surgery the following morning. Dr. Brock, who is an amazing, holds a very special place in my heart. He did the surgery the following morning. I left there. They, of course, had removed lymph nodes to test and see where we went from there as far as treatment goes. We recovered from surgery. I actually went to MD Anderson out in Texas just to sort of make sure everybody was on the same page, sort of a second opinion type thing. Then I came back here in August of 2015 and started my treatment. I did chemotherapy, pills, as well as the IV treatment. I've since had a couple of reoccurrences. They seem to be somewhat sporadic, maybe a few years down the road. Something would show up on a scan, and I've had a couple of other surgeries where they removed lymph nodes or small spots here and there. So throughout the course of that, I've done both chemotherapy and radiation. So I've now done radiation twice and chemotherapy 3 times, I believe. I just finished a cycle of chemotherapy. 2 weeks ago was the last IV treatment. And from there, I had scans Monday and Tuesday of this week. I actually go this afternoon to meet with my oncologist to see sort of what those scans show, what the next step is from here as far as that goes. Then I'll actually go back out to Texas just to basically do the same thing again. I just like to make sure everybody's on the same page as far as treatment goes, and then we'll proceed with treatment however they recommend.
I got you. So all the treatment though has been
it has all been in Rome at the cancer center here in Rome. It was never my intention to go to Texas, and I didn't by any means want, I have a little guy here and I have no intentions of having treatments out there unless I absolutely needed to, unless they had something there to offer that wasn't available here or something like that. But it's basically just to make sure everybody's on the same page, get a second opinion, make sure we're headed in the right direction. But they always out there, they're great about that as well. They'll, give us, this is what what our opinion is. We sort of, at this point, we've been lucky enough that they've lined up with my doctors here in Rome. So we've gone through that. They recommend that I come back to Rome for treatment anyway, because they want me here with friends, family, my support group. I have an amazing support group here that they want me back here with them. So,
Question 3 would be, what has been the greatest struggle that you have faced so far along your cancer journey?
Well, diagnosis obviously is a huge one for everybody, just the initial shock of it all. But definitely the reoccurrence, like you get the original diagnosis, you go through those treatments, and it's just, you're in the grind and don't really have time to think about it at that time. You get past that, and then you get clear scans, and it's like, yes, and then the read, later down the road, you get that, we think we've got some sort of reoccurrence here, and that's a major, mentally, a lot to deal with. So that's definitely has been probably the hardest, that you thought it was behind you, and then it's really not.
Right. So you mentioned about your amazing support group, and so number 4 goes along with, how have your friends and or family offered support to you and your family? And do you have any insight when people ask, when they say they have someone that they know that's on a cancer journey and they just want to have ideas of how they could help offer and support them?
Sure. I absolutely have an amazing group, not only friends, family, my medical team. I couldn't say a bad thing about any of them. So I have support from every angle. You said our kids go to the same school. I get support from there as well. But as far as what I would say, what somebody could do for someone in this situation, anything from, I very much enjoy, it's not the same person checking in on me every day, but like a handful of people every day, and it's not even the same handful of people, just random people, I was thinking about you today, praying for you, whatever. That gets me a long way. As far as, you don't feel like you're fighting alone. But then the flip side to that, the flip side to that is like supporting my family. My little guy struggles. So if you could offer to get him away from the situation, it's helpful for me to know that he's doing something else, got his mind off of it.
Right.
But also, my husband, who has no option but to he's the one that I have to lean on all the time.
Sure.
So to offer to either get him away, maybe he goes for a guy's weekend or something like that, or even if it's just a word of encouragement, a text message to him to help him out,
Yeah.
Because even when, if I'm not feeling well, I may be on the struggle bus a little, but they are still in their right mindset and trying to function in everyday life. So when they're out there trying to function, they need that encouragement, because I'm sure it's beating them down too, just in a different way. So
I think a lot of people that haven't went through it as a family or as an individual, which
Sure.
I've never been in that seat, so I'm not claiming to know that, but a lot of people don't understand that when a family faces a diagnosis, it doesn't just impact the individual that's facing it, it impacts the whole the whole family as a unit. I mean, cancer really just, it hits all of us. So
yeah, I have to answer tough questions from a 6-year-old.
Sure.
So any sort of encouragement, but then also everyday tasks of, you hear people, it's cliche and everybody wants to do that, but even a meal here and there is one less meal that my poor husband has to cook because I didn't feel like it, so
Yeah.
so things like that certainly are uplifting, and can help out with just getting through the everyday.
The day-to-day
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
I get it. So number 5, cancer can bring about a lot of anxiety and fear at times. Can you share a little bit about some of the positive coping mechanisms that you found that kind of help you through some of the more tough days?
Certainly. Prayer obviously is number one, and you hear just anytime the fear just is starting to overtake me, which is a daily battle, just stop my thoughts, stop the rabbit trail that I'm headed down, and just go into prayer. That's by far been the best. You can read about plenty of them, I like to over-research everything. So, you know, you're reading about how can I help cope with this and that and whatever. But prayer's number one, but I've done yoga, which has been very helpful. Sometimes I don't like before diagnosis and even when I'm a little stronger and in between treatments and things like that, I like to run. You know, sort of just a release. But sometimes I'm not up for that. But yoga is somewhat in the athletic type thing, you know, but then also gives you that mental, you know, a little bit putting your mind at ease and that sort of thing. So that's definitely something that has been very helpful to me as well. I don't know, conversation probably is another one. Just, you know, find a friend, find somebody else in this journey that you can talk through things with, you know, and sort of just get a reset, because it's going to come back. Sure. Those fears are always there. But if you can just get that reset to, you know, move on to the next day or whatever, then those certainly can help.
Gotcha. Is there one word or phrase that you would use to sum up your cancer experience or journey?
Not to sound negative, but fear is definitely what comes to mind, and it isn't always bad, and certainly it's always in the back of my mind, but it becomes less, and you learn a lot about yourself and your ability to push forward. So just the fear that's there, but the positives that can come from that, you know, not to take every day for granted. It sounds like something everybody says, but it really is.
Yeah, carries a lot of meaning.
Sure. So yeah, I think fear would be the biggest one that has unfortunately, you know, gone through the whole journey with me.
Right.
So
I mean, I think there's a lot of honesty in that message, and thank you for sharing that. Number 7 out of 7 questions with Summit Quest. No. So you've almost made it. If you had one message to give to individuals or families that are facing a cancer journey that may be similar to yours, what would that message be?
Probably going back to the fear, that you've got to overcome it and not let it. It's going to slow you down, but not let it stop you in your tracks, you know? Like, I'm out doing mom things, doing work things, everything else, throughout the week. Sitting around worrying about it or you know, worrying about what's next isn't really going to get you anywhere. So just being able to put that fear behind you, and while it's still there, it at least will help you, you know, push through and enjoy every moment and do some things that maybe you would have put off, or the enjoyment of just bedtime snuggles. Sure. You know, just
finding the magic in every day.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you, you've brought a lot of great insight with this interview. And again, because our kids go to the same school, I see you a lot, whether it's focus groups or functions or dress-up days or whatever. You are always present, and I'll tell you, it's you live what you just said. You know, the fear, you don't let it. You know, it may slow you down. It may slow us all down in our journeys.
Oh, it slows me down.
But you don't let it stop you,
yeah.
And you haven't let it stop you. And I think that's. I know that's just a very powerful message. So, and since 2015, right?
Yep.
I mean, you have not let it stop you. You are strong. You are amazingly strong. And I appreciate you coming today and sharing a little bit about your journey and inspiring those that will watch this video. Is there anything that you have to say, or you feel like you're good? Is there anything else you want?
I mean, thanks for having me. This obviously is not my forte, but if there's anything I can do to help anyone in this journey, you know, I run across things, whether it's articles or videos or different things throughout. Like I said, I like to research things to death. So I find things like this along the way that have helped me in my journey. So while it's not my favorite thing to come out and do on on this rainy Wednesday, if it does help anybody, then it certainly, you know, I would do it a million times over, because it is a tough journey.
Wow. Well, thank you once again, and thank you.
Yeah, thank you.